Uh, hello. Happy Tuesday tips from the top. I'm your host, Jess.
And I'm your host, Tara.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. I'm always excited to be here. I love Tuesdays. I love coming live and hanging out with you guys and really giving you tips from the top, like literally putting you inside of our brains and how me and Tara have scaled to millions of dollars in our businesses because anyone can do this and everyone can do this. And so before we get into the topic of today, which I think is going to be a really good one, I wanted
Yes.
to put out a reminder that yesterday started day one of our On the Daily Telegram broadcast.
Yeah.
This is our 90-day container of On the Daily, and I am obsessed with this container. You guys, me and Tara have done a lot of things, but this one just holds near and dear to my heart because the feedback we got from our 30-day container in January was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like when you get those testimonials from people that are like, I did this or I implemented this and this happened or that blew my mind. I had to listen to that 3 times. It really like gets you in your feels of why you're doing what you're doing, because sometimes it's so easy when you're like going through the motions every day to just feel like if I don't show up today, like no one's paying attention, or like what I'm doing doesn't even matter. And the truth of the matter really is that it does matter. Everything matters, and everything that you do is adding up. People's destiny are tied to you. And so when you're not showing up or you're not, performing in your biggest capacity, other people are not getting to their highest capacity. We say this all the time, like learn one, teach one. And so to get that feedback was just such a wake up call to know that there are people out there that I wouldn't say like relying, but that look forward to the things that we have to share with them, and that it is helping them in such a great capacity. So we first, when we talked about it, we're thinking, how long do we want to do this for? And it's an everyday thing. We have to think of topics and good topics so that people feel like, they're getting value. And so we're like, you know what, let's just try to do it for 30 days and like kind of see like how it goes. And so because of the feedback being so incredible, we were like, you know what, let's do it for another 90 days. So it's been incredible. I'm excited. Jess and I are learning a lot of things. We just got into a mastermind. So there'll be a lot of things that we start sharing from what we're learning with that in there. So if you are somebody who either has hit 5 figures or hasn't hit 5 figures, this is kind of more for people that whether you have or haven't hit 5 figures, it doesn't matter. You can join this. This is more of like our lower ticket container, but you still have, it's not super high touch, but it's high touch in the sense of every single day you're going to get a training sent directly to your phone from Jess or myself that are from 15 to 30 minutes. And there's really nothing like off limits. You're going to get things from, clearing money blocks, content, strategy, brand, social media, sales, marketing, mindset, personal development, leadership. I mean, the list goes on and on. You're going to get that. And it's lifetime access. So you can go ahead and you can listen. The reason why I love it so much is because, when you're on these trainings or listening to a podcast, it's so easy to feel good in the moment and be like, yes, I'm inspired. Yes, blah, blah, blah. But then what happens is life happens, right? And you can so easily get triggered and self-sabotage or fall off. So to have that in your bank and be able to go back and re-listen to things to get you back in the energy so you can hold it longer to be able to manifest the things into the 3D that you desire is really, it's incredible. So we have a link. We'll post it in the comment section below. And we have 3 different payment options so that it's, affordable for everybody. There's that. And then also I want to share with you guys that we have launched Power Meets Power. We have about 4 people in there, one on the brink. So possibly 3 to 4 spots left. We are hand selecting each people. We've had a lot of people that have applied and they're just not quite there yet. They will be, but they're just not quite there yet. And this container is, specifically for people who have reached 5 figures, that are inside of our high ticket business, whether they're on our team or not, but we're going deeper with you. It's not like newer conversations. It's more like higher level, how to quantum leap, how to really stand in that leadership and power and really calibrate to high level people. So you're going to get feedback from myself, from Jess, and from 7 other 6-figure income earners. So that is valuable that you're learning from everybody in there. So it's 8 weeks, 8 people. We're going to have calls. We're going to have a group chat that's just for us. It's going to be very, very powerful. And so if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, well, I'm not ready for that yet, it's meant to stretch you past your edges so that you're thinking, okay, well, if in your mind you're like, okay, I'm going to hit this level in the next like 3 to 6 months. How about in the next 2 months? How about in the next 6 weeks? Like this container can truly catapult you faster than what you would do trying to go about it alone versus being in this container and talking with these people, you know, pretty much every day or every other day. So also we have that you can DM Jess or myself on social media with the word power, and we will get you over all the information. Like I said, we have about 3 to 4 spots left. We're closing it at the end of this week and we start next week. So if that's something that you are interested, feel called in any way, reach out to us and we'll give you all of the deets. So yeah, let's get into today's training, guys.
I'm excited. So last thing I do want to say, sorry, quick announcement.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys, probably a lot of people have noticed that you cannot find me on social media right now. So I officially don't have Facebook or my new Instagram. So that is not the place to follow me at the moment. Don't know when those are going to kick back in. So if you want to follow me, the best place right now is going to be on TikTok and then on my personal YouTube channel. I can link both of those below as well. And then my email list. So my email list is really where you're going to get like the juicy exclusive behind the scenes into my life and offers and things like that. So you definitely want to join my email list as well. So I will be dropping those links in the description later this afternoon after this video, so you guys can all get back in touch with me because I disappeared, but I promise I am still here, louder than ever. We're closing sales. We're still helping people. Meta can't get me down, let me tell you. So what we really wanted to get into tonight is how when you pay attention, and why integrating the things that you learn are so important. And it's a whole other skill set in its own. So what we've noticed, and I used to be this way as well. I don't know if Tara was, but I was this way, you know, back in the day when I first started my network marketing journey. I would absorb all of the free information I could everywhere. I was following all the coaches. I was getting on every free masterclass. I was trying to bubblegum strategies together. And the reason it didn't work is because of just that, right? I was bubblegumming strategies that did not interconnect with each other. I did not have a clear line focus of where I needed to go. Plus, I also would forget and I wouldn't integrate the things that I was learning, because I don't know about you guys, but Tara made me laugh earlier because she's talking about how when, you know, you see all the free value that people give on Instagram and on Facebook and on TikTok, and it's like, you know, all these hooks, use this strategy, use this one, use blah, 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 blah. And you like save it and you're like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to really integrate that strategy. And then like, you never look at it ever again. But you have like 2,000 saved TikToks in 2,000.
I'm guilty of that. I'm not even going to lie. I'm so guilty of that.
I still do it. Let me tell you. But the problem is, you guys, is if you want to actually get results in your business and scale to 5 figures and multiple 5 figures per month, the integration part is the most important part. So for a good example of this is I tell my team all the time, especially when they're integrating personal development, that I do not care how many books you read in a year. I don't care. What I care is that you read a couple really good books and you take your time with that book and you actually integrate the things that it says. You integrate the homework that it gives you, and then you go back through it and you do it again and you highlight everywhere and you spend time studying that book. So books like Rich as Fuck or Napoleon Hill's, oh my God, why isn't it coming to me? Why isn't it coming to me?
How to grow and influence the...
No. Napoleon Hill.
How to win influence with your friends. How to win.
Nope. That one's good too, though. The Science of Getting Rich. Nope, not that one either. Why is my brain blanking? It's my Holy Grail book. Anyway, Napoleon Hill has a Holy Grail book, and I can't remember. You guys asked her. I can't remember.
Have a Millionaire or something?
Nope, that's not Napoleon.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Think and Grow Rich. There it is. Holy moly, that was ridiculous. I have studied that book cover to cover. Anyway, so those books, for example, I didn't just read them one time. I've read each of those books 3 or 4 times each. And when I read them, they are highlighted to F. I'm integrating the things that I am learning, and I am actually putting into practice the things that I am ingesting into my
Yes.
brain. Because when we're just absorbing all of this free information, and then it's like, oh, okay, that was good. Watch Tara and Jess. I'm gonna go like get on with my day. You just totally forget everything that we talked about. And I know it happens because people will be in our comments, they'll be like, oh my God, truth bomb. Oh, that one hit. That one slapped. I heard that, heard that. But then it's like, do you remember to hear that and integrate it afterward?
Yeah, no, 100%. And it happens a lot that people do this, right? Like you will learn something, and then if things aren't working in your business, you'll be like, I'm doing everything and it's not working. And this even happens with my clients sometimes. And then I'll go and I'll check out their social media and I'll be like, babe, we're going to have an honest conversation here because I love you and I want you to win. But you're not doing everything. Like you just told me you're doing personal development. I don't see it integrated anywhere on here. You haven't talked about it. You haven't made a story, a reel, a post at all. You haven't even talked about your business in any way, shape, or form. I have no idea what you do or that you even have a business. So you're not integrating anything that you're learning right now. And so this sometimes can be a deeper rooted thing. Like maybe you're afraid to be seen. You're afraid for people to actually ask you for information because then if they say no, you're going to feel rejected. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of things that can come with it. But the point of the matter is that, you know, the difference between free and when you actually invest into something is that you want to make sure that your money didn't go to waste, right? So you're going to pay attention. You're going to show up to the calls. You're going to do going to do the work. But are you doing the work when you're not like, because that's the thing. We're not employees. We don't have a boss looking over us so that if we go to work and we don't do our to-do list, like we're going to get fired next week. They're going to replace us. We know that. So we've got to make sure that we're doing our work and going above and beyond. But are you doing that in your own business?
Mm.
And we talked about this last week. If your team got paid for the work you did today, would they be happy with their paycheck or would they be pissed off at you? Because that's how you have to judge every single day by is would my team be happy with their paycheck or would they not based off of the work that I did today? And sometimes I also think, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but sometimes I also think that like, we'll look to people for inspiration. And I always tell my team, like, my page, you cannot compare my social media and where I'm at chapter, 900, because I've been doing this for 9 years. Okay. You cannot compare where I'm at and the way that I speak to my ideal client and the way that I'm showing up to how you're showing up when you just launched your business for the first time. Like you
Yeah.
just became a CEO, you just started to launch it. I am not what I was doing back then is not what I'm doing today because it's a very different, I'm in a different place. So don't come to my page and be like, oh, well, you're doing this or you're doing that, but because it's different, right? And so what I'm giving you and what Jess gives you and what the other, coaches, the mentors give you is strategy for where you are to get your business off the ground.
Yeah. And it's so easy to Netflix and chill personal development. It's so easy to be like, oh, I'm going to buy this program. I'm going to buy this course. I'm going to go to this masterclass. I'm going to watch this training. I'm going to read this book. And you just fly through it. And
Mhm.
that, again, it's really hard to integrate the things that we're learning if that's our intentionality. So for me, for example, I do watch a lot. Whoa. Anyway, bubble in my throat. I do watch a lot of programs, but I rewatch those programs. And so, especially if something really resonates with me, I know that when I'm watching something that's resonating with me, I'm missing actually a lot of the message because my brain is contemplating like the bomb that was just dropped on me, right? Like I'll hear something that really hits. And so I go inside my brain and I'm like, whoa, like this hit because of this. And then I know I missed things. And so that's why like rewatching and re-listening to trainings, you're gonna catch something new every single time. Like especially if you've been following me and Tara's Tuesday Tips from the Top, we've been doing this once a week for 18 months now. Like if you go back and you watch the old one, oh, well you can't on some of them on Facebook. Anyway, there's old ones here on YouTube, but oh, they're on Zoom. We can upload old ones to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Girl, see? Things come into light to integrate in real time. Okay, so anyway,
So
we'll
excited.
We'll upload old Tuesday tips from the top for you guys to watch. But anyway, that's what I'm saying is like if you have access to training videos and modules, like re-watch those and re-listen and make sure you're taking action on the things that you're actually learning. Because especially in an industry like ours, it's not like you listen to something and you're just a professional at the strategy. You
Yeah,
have to
no.
go implement and then refine and retweak. So me and Tara, we have produced teams that have done multi seven figures in sales, but like we're still buying courses on messaging content, seeing how different coaches talk about it, seeing if there's anything different out there, like a way that we can kind of tweak our messaging to get even better. So
Yep.
we're still a student to the game at the level that we're at. And
We're
I think
always going to be a student.
always, we will always like, I actually like it's a flex of how much money I can invest into personal development. Last year was like 150,000. Like, how much are we going to do this year? Like, it is my goal to grow and to
We're
expand because
already
oh,
$10,000 in for the year and it just started.
it did to just start. Yes, it did. And so I think a lot of people have like they struggle with this mindset. They struggle with thinking, well, you know, if I get into a team or I get into a course or I get into a platform, it should give me everything I need, everything from A to Z, and I should not need to grow anymore with this. And that's really not true. Like, this is a journey of growth and evolution over a lifetime. Like, we're always going to be investing and we're always going to have new things to teach, especially as coaches and mentors. Like, we have new perspectives, we have, you know, things that we invest in and then we contemplate and how we can present it to our team or our audience and things like that. Like, we can't have the mindset that we come in, we learn a little bit and like we're good. Because if we do that, then we get stagnant. And once we get stagnant, it's really hard to create momentum. And you may get to a place in your business where, yeah, you're making like $10,000 a month. But here's the thing, in 2025, $10,000 a month isn't a lot of money. That's not really much of
Like the
anything
old
anymore.
5,000.
Yeah. And so if we get to a place where we're making $10,000 a month, that's cool. But at least for me and the people that vibe with me and the people that vibe with Tara is like, we want to grow. Like, we want to know what our full potential is. Like, we want to know, okay, can we make 20? Can we make 30? Can we make 50? You know, like what can we actually do? And to do that, it takes investing in your growth. It takes investing into masterminds, into containers, into, you know, courses, events. It doesn't really matter. It's just how can we grow and how can we scale, but then how can we implement and integrate? Because I bet you there's people who spend the kind of money that they do with Tony Robbins to go to his events and then they don't integrate when they get home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the saddest thing because then what people do is they blame the person. They're like,
Yeah.
well, I didn't
Good
get
work.
enough of a transformation. It was a waste of money. It was this or that. But then Sally Joe Bob next door, she could do the exact same thing and her whole entire life go
Mhm.
through a massive transformation. And it's because of the level of integration and discipline and dedication to your own transformation through the things you're
Yeah.
learning.
I completely agree. And, it's also about getting in the room and networking with people. Like, if you want to grow your network with colleagues of people that, are very skilled and, make a certain amount of money, and they're just, being a connector to connect you to, other resources and places and things, you've got to get into the room with people. You've got to expand your mind. But when I first started in business, I knew nothing about social media. I knew nothing about growing a network. I knew nothing about content, knew nothing about anything. And there was a girl that had an entire YouTube channel and she had tons of videos on there. When I tell you that I used to know her trainings verbatim, because I constantly listened to them. So I'd be listening to them and I'd be writing notes in my notebook. She'd give examples. I'd be writing the examples in my notebook. And I give my success in that first company to her because without her, I don't think I would have been able to grow as quickly as I did. But the point is that the information was there and I took it and I integrated it every single day, all day long. And I'm grateful for that. I don't ever just watch something one time and I'm like, okay, I got it. It's like, no, I need to watch it. I need to say, if I hear something like, oh, that was really good, then I'm going to go and implement that, try that. If you're listening to something, right, you need to talk about that, whether it be in a post, in your stories, in a reel, go live, right? You need to show people that you are changing the way you think about things, the way that you see things, the way that you do things, so that people can find you valuable, and want to do business with you. You know what I'm saying? And not enough people do that. And they truly believe in their minds that they're doing everything. And when I go to, check their work, I'm like, babe, you're not. You might feel like you're doing things, but the things that you are not doing are not things that you're learning, and you're not integrating anything that's going to get you closer to, growing a successful business. So,
Mm.
um, it's really important to take radical responsibility for every single thing that you do in your business, in your life, but in your business. You've got to take radical responsibility. When times are slow in my business, I know that it's on me. It's not because my team's not doing anything and my clients, it's on me. My power in my bag is not tied up in somebody else's moves. It's tied up in my moves, right? You can't motivate people. You can inspire them, but you need to show them, like, I'm going. So you're either coming or not, and either way is fine, but I'm going. And that's what people like. That's when they run with you, because they see that, oh, okay, like, I don't want to get left behind, because she's bringing in new people, working with those people. Those people are making sales, and they're growing. And I've been in the business for 6 to 8 months, and I'm not moving. So it's time for me to move my butt too. That's the way you need to look at things. And the quicker that you do, the faster you will. When you start challenging yourself, right? If you're not somebody who works out, start moving your body, start moving that energy, start eating better, start doing things. And when you start to change things, you'll realize that new things are going to start coming towards you. But you cannot attract what you want. You can only attract who you are. And you can't fool energy. You can show up online and say whatever you want, but behind the scenes, who are you being? Because if you're being somebody that is not someone that would invest with you or want to work with you, you can't hide that from energy. And energy is not going to give you what you want. They're going to only give you, like, what you deserve and where you're at.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think it's so important to remember that it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. By you doing personal development, even as a beginner, you're already 10 steps ahead of the masses.
Yeah.
So again, sometimes we like to let that imposter syndrome sink in, where we're like, oh, but like, I'm not at the level where you guys are. We mentioned like, we've invested 10,000 into our development this year already. Like, you don't have to be there yet. You don't have to like have, all of these investments. It's like, you picking up one personal development book is already more than what 99% of people are doing. So just by showing that and teaching the basic principles of even like beginner growth and development, people are going to have mindset shifts. People are going to see you in a different way. People are going to see you as the coach and the mentor who has different perspectives. And so one of the things I like to talk about in like phase one of business, when you like don't really have any sales yet, or maybe you have a couple sales, is another real good way to look at your content and strategy is documentation of your journey and really teaching your audience. So what I did a lot in the beginning, I kid you not, you guys, I would like read my book, I would have an aha moment, and I would be like, we have to talk about this. And I would have my book on my live, and I'd be like, let me read this paragraph to you guys, and then let's talk about it. And so it was just teaching people, like, here's a different mindset, here's a different perspective, here's this, here's that, and just showing like, this is my journey as a newbie, and you want to be on this journey with me because this is where I'm going, and this is how I'm doing it, is by documenting and showing it to you guys. And so we just have to remember that you don't have to present yourself as this like crazy coach and guru who already has it all together. We didn't have it all together when we first started either, with our 12 live views. Like, it's okay. We all start there, but you just have to start. You just have to inspire and motivate and teach and show people the way. But again, if you don't do that and you don't find value in that, people aren't going to see you valuable either. And so don't be afraid of like going and teaching your audience the things that you're learning. Like, if you have an aha moment during this live, go live about it and talk about it and be like, holy crap, my mentors just said this, my mentors just said that, and I had this like huge aha moment. Let's talk about it. Like, that right there is going to increase your engagement. It's going to show you as an authority position in the online space, because you're actually serious about what you're doing, and that'll get people to move.
1,000,000%. I remember when I would like be doing dishes or laundry, I would be listening to something and I would screenshot it. I would always be posting like listening to this audiobook, and then I would go in my stories and talk about it or go live about it. I was constantly showing people that I was growing as a person and why they should listen to me, why I'm a leader, why I'm going first, documenting, the change in my life and pushing myself and getting out of my comfort zone. I was showing people that every time I was jumping on a live, I mean, not a live, a training, I was showing that I was on a training, everything. I was documenting everything for people to see that I was serious about this business, when they could believe me or not, but they were going to watch my evolution, and they sure as heck did. So that's where it comes from. And if you're not doing that, you might need to ask yourself, like, why am I holding myself back? Especially if you have all of the tools to be successful, you have to ask yourself, why am I holding myself back? Because that's really what it is. You have to be so hungry for it and want it so bad that every day you're doing whatever you can truly to make it happen, not just putting something up and being like, why isn't it working? And then like getting frustrated about it. Like I wasn't even thinking about why isn't it working, because every day I was doing everything I possibly could do from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, wake up the next day from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. And I was just nonstop talking about my growth, the business, the success happening around me, where I was going, what I was doing, what I was learning. And people just couldn't get enough of like, hearing about it. And so you have to be real with yourself and take responsibility, because it's all on you. You are the CEO. You're the CEO, you're the customer service, you're the marketing, you're the branding, you're everything. So you are the one that needs to put it into motion. Care about your business, care about it. Treat it like you're growing, like a baby that needs to grow. If you're giving it everything it truly needs, it will grow and blossom. And if you're not, then it's not going to.
Yeah. And this is like, I always tell people, I hate that people are trying to cancel hustle culture,
Me
because
too.
you do have to have hustle to bit. Like, okay, say you want to make an additional $3,000 a month, 5,000. Okay, maybe you don't have to hustle as hard, but again, that's not really who we speak to.
Yeah.
So to build businesses like we talk about, there's hustle required. There's gonna be sacrifice. There's gonna be time where people are like, "Yo, are you okay?" Like you always in the lab. Are you good? And it's like, I'm good because I like the hustle. I find, and I also like freedom. But to get to the place where I have freedom, I had to hustle for a couple
Yeah.
years. But I would hustle 10 times harder than I did even those couple years to now live the life that I do. And so many people are like trying to cancel that. But it's like, if you want to build a thriving business where you're producing multi 5 figures per month and then 6 figures per month, it's going to require hustle. But so many people are like, oh, but like, I want to work like 1 hour a day or like this. And I don't get it. I don't vibe.
Yeah.
So you do have to put that hustle in the beginning where you're really showing people and showing up, because if you lead, you have to lead yourself first and then other people will follow. So if you're not leading yourself well, how are you going to be able to lead other people? So that's really the question that we have to ask. And that was a wake up call I actually had when I was, just starting my business. When I quit my job, I had made a little bit of money, but not anything crazy. And I remember my mentor asking me, like, are you even prepared to hold the things that you're praying for? And it was like, oh shit, no. Like, no, I ain't showing up in the way that I could if I wanted to manage a team. Like, if you would have handed me what I'm holding today as the version of me 3 years ago, I would have broke. There would have been no way.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, so I need to lead myself stronger. What if I expect other people to invest with me? I need to be willing to invest in other things. If
Yes.
I expect other people to come in and respect my time, I need to respect other people's time and my mentor's time. Like, I need to look at what my expectations are with when my business partners come in. I need to make sure I'm in alignment with that. Because a lot of the time we're actually not. And we think that we're doing everything and we're not doing everything. So these are like important, what's the word I'm looking for? Like introspective contemplations that we really need to be asking ourselves if we are prepared to hold the things that we want, and what our expectations and standards are of our business partners and our potential business partners. And if we're showing up in a way that make like look at your content, look at the way you're showing up in your business today. Are you showing up in a way that should be producing you $20,000 a month?
Yes.
You can answer that question if you go look at your content and you look at the way that you're showing up in your business. If you look at the hours that you're putting in, the time that you're putting in, you'll be able to answer that. And a lot of the time, if you're saying I'm doing everything, but you're producing $0, if you go look at your content and you really inventory what you're doing every day, the two don't mesh. They just
Right.
don't. And so I said this, I think, on a coaching call the other day, but it's like, it's not to hurt your feelings, but the people who have what you want right now, they're outworking you. That's why they have what you want. They're putting in the reps. They're investing in their growth. They're showing up to every coaching call. They're doing the work behind the scenes and sacrificing time. They're staying up late. They're sacrificing time with their spouse, with their kids, to really get the business off the ground. So I always say, It might hurt your feelings, but that's okay. Just know those people are outworking you. And so when I kind of heard that mentality in the beginning, I was like, hell no, I'm gonna go outwork all them. Don't you worry, boo. And I got to work and I realized I actually wasn't working like I said I was. And
Yeah.
every time it comes down to us, we are our own demise.
100%, 100%. So you got to be your biggest cheerleader and you got to be your, biggest truth teller too. Like, are you doing what you need to be doing? And only you can truly answer that for yourself. And again, I wasn't even worried about keeping score because I knew that I was doing all of the things that I needed to be doing. And so now it's your turn to go out there and do that if you want it bad enough, right?
Right.
If you want it bad enough, you will go out there and you will make it happen. So yeah, today is just really all about, integrating and doing it over and over and over again, knowing that you're stretching yourself to your edges, getting in the rooms with the right people, networking, learning, sharing that with people, becoming valuable, and holding yourself to a higher standard of not accepting anything but excellence. Like, even
Mhm.
for me, when I didn't work for the first like almost 3 months of 2024, when I came back, I hadn't been working. So I didn't have leads in the pipeline. I didn't have anything going on. So I knew that I needed to go and rev it up and I needed to do what I needed to do. So I was showing up even harder, longer, more, saying more, doing more, like to get that going, and it took a little bit of time to get that going. Then once it did, I got into momentum. I know how to get myself into momentum a lot faster now because I've been doing it for a while, but it still takes some time of doing that, to make sure that that happens. So, again, there's not a timeline on it. If I don't do this by this, then I'm gonna no. You either want it or you don't. Period. End of story. If you want it, you're gonna go hard. You're gonna push harder. And if you slacked a little bit the day before, you're gonna go even harder. You're gonna go hard on your mindset, telling yourself what you need to do, putting in the work. I mean, it's gonna take time. And the ones that have a strong mindset will be the ones to survive. So yeah, today is just all about integration, guys. Go out there, make sure you integrate. And I want to see it on the socials.
I do want to see it too. So you guys, thank you for showing up today live. It has been such a good conversation. It's just a kick in the ass that I think people really need. And then like we said, we do have on the daily running right now. So if you want to get us in your ear every single day, like you need to be in on that container. So we'll
Yeah.
drop the link and I'll also put the link in my milkshake on TikTok. So if you are following there, you can get the link there. Tara's going to put it in hers because I'm going to tell her to. And so you can just go to our
Yes.
link in our bios and you'll be able to find it as well, or send Tara a DM and jump in that container. It started yesterday. It's already off to such an incredible start.
I am excited. So we will see you guys next week for Tuesday Tips from the Top, and we'll see you on Thursday from our Playbook 2